Hello, my name is Sarah Lowman, and I'm a political science major with a concentration in pre-law, and I'm in my senior year here at the University of North Georgia. And this past summer, I did my internship at McCurdy Law.
Sarah, can you tell us a little bit about why you pursued an internship over the summer?
Yeah, so I pursued an internship because, one, it is a requirement, but two, I would have wanted to do an internship if possible because I've always had this goal of going to law school, and I wanted to make sure that before I invested 3 more years of this degree, I wanted to make sure it was something that I actually was passionate about, and it wasn't just something, I had seen on movies and thought it would be like that. I wanted to actually know what it would be like and actually know that I would be passionate about that even after I graduated from law school. So from the internship, I was able to confirm that I do want to go to law school and that it is something that I want to do, and it was definitely beneficial and informative, and I feel like everyone needs to have an internship before they pursue their profession.
So, can you tell us a little bit about who you went and saw, or what resources you went to find out how to start an internship?
Yeah, so I did a little bit of research beforehand because I knew that I was going to have an internship as a requirement. It was 6 credit hours, and so I looked online, and UNG actually has a lot of resources already on there about who to contact and things like that. So if you aren't sure, just go check out the website. And after that, I contacted my advisor, Dr. Wilson, and he directed me to Dr. Cavalli. And Dr. Cavalli is in charge of all the political science internships. So once I met with him, he was very informative. He told me exactly what I needed to do. We sat there and decided on a plan. He asked me if I needed any help in finding an internship. I had already chosen one that I wanted to do already. I just had to get it approved by him and confirmed. But if you don't have one, he will help you find one. And that very day, he sent an approval to McCurdy Law, and it was very fast. It was very smooth. He sent me also resources of different requirements and different paperwork I needed to fill out, and different internships or intern places that I could potentially be an intern at.
So, once Dr. Cavalli signs off on where you decide to go to intern, is that internship considered a class then?
Yes, it is a class. Like I said, it's 6 credit hours, and it is basically an online class, but of course, you actually have to do your internship, so it's like work also. So I think that I had over 200 hours that were required for my internship, and it may not seem like a lot, but it was a lot, so it was pretty time consuming, but it was definitely beneficial. And so Dr. Cavalli went through all of this with me beforehand, and he told me that it is a class, it's online, you have to do some discussions, you also have to write a paper for your class and everything, so you do get graded from him also, and then he contacts your advisor for the internship, and they keep in contact to discuss where you are at in your internship and different things like that. So you do get graded. It is, a class. It's not just a work, but it was a change, and I felt like it was actually pretty fun to get out of the normal just go to class and everything and be able to actually interact with what I want to do in the future.
Okay, very good. So, can you talk about the law office you were at? What kind of law were they in?
Okay, so I interned at McCurdy Law, and it's in Jasper, Georgia. So I actually live in LJ, and it was much quicker to go over there, and that was a great opportunity for me to not have to drive over here. So I was grateful for that. And it is the attorney that I worked for there, or interned with, he mainly does estate work. He does some personal injury, and he also does some disability. And so when I first started there, I went in, and they were a little short on staff because he is a semi-new attorney. He's been practicing for probably about 10 years now, and because there are some legal processes on how to keep up with files and things like that. They weren't, you have to really keep everything in order. And with the wills that he does, if he has the original, he has to keep them in a fire-safe box and different things like that. And all other files have to be kept for 7 years. It's a requirement by law. So it's kind of difficult to know where to keep your past cases, where to keep your current ones, and not get them mixed up to where you're confused or it's overwhelming. So that was a really big project. It was the first thing I did, and I feel like that was one of the most beneficial things I was able to do for the attorney that I worked for. And then one of my other jobs that I did there was he does a lot, or the attorney I worked for, he does a lot of personal injury files or cases, and it's extremely time consuming. You have to get a ton of records for from different medical facilities for your client, and then they send you invoices. You have to tell the attorney that, hey, we've received an invoice, we have to pay it. And it's kind of a pretty important job, because if you don't get them within the period of discovery, then it's something that the attorney will be looked down on, and he can't get any more of the information on his client. So I would say that was probably one of the biggest things I did with my internship. And then my favorite thing that I did was probably make wills. I felt like that was extremely important, and I didn't really know what a will looked like, to be honest, before I started working there, which is probably sad, but now I actually know how to make wills. And so I would get the worksheets from the clients and make them before they would come in and different things like that. There's a lot of different legal languages you have to use, and it's kind of confusing, but I feel like that was probably the best thing that I did there. I love doing it. It is a little time consuming, but I feel like in the future, after I get out of law school, I'll definitely look back on that and think about how glad I was that I learned that during my internship.
So can you tell us a little bit about just how what you were learning there and experiencing in your internship, and like how it related or connected to your academic studies?
Mm-hmm. So a political science degree, as I'm sure a lot of you know, is a lot about theory and different things like that, and about how they think the government works, and none of it is actually like an exact way. And so I felt like by being able to intern, I was able to put all the things that I've learned in class, the different theories and things like that about how the government works, and I was able to associate them to how it really does work. And so there were several different times during my internship when I was in the courthouse or different things like that, that I was like, hey, I learned that in class or something, and I was able to associate different terms and different things like that. And but I feel like it is very important that you not only learn it, and you learn it in class and everything, and the teacher talks about, you do tests over it, but you also experience it. You got to experience it also.
Okay. So it sounds like this is a great experience. For everything you've told us, you did some really important work. And you already mentioned that you are wanting to go to law school and be a lawyer. Can you tell us any more just benefits on how this internship affected your goals? For example, you mentioned that the place you interned was you talked about with what was it? What was
McCurdy
the
Law.
McCurdy Law.
Yeah.
And what kind of they do? They're a firm in wheels.
Estate work and different things like that.
Okay, so there's many type of firms out there. Mm-hmm. So did this experience kind of affirm or kind of give you a direction on what kind of field you want to go into?
Okay, so yeah, that was probably the most important thing that came out of the internship for me. I came into it knowing that I probably didn't want to do estates, because honestly it sounds boring, and sometimes it is a little bit boring, but it's extremely important. I thought that maybe I wanted to do family law, and once I got in there and I started to learn about the different aspects of estate law and things like that. I did confirm that I wanted to do family law, but I know now that I know how a will works. I know how to search for deeds and just different things like that. And I feel like estate law is going to kind of go into almost every single type of law in some way. And I think that even, if I do divorces, I'm going to have to associate some type of estate law into my family law and just different things like that. So I was able to confirm, like I said, that I did want to do family law, but I think that even if you can't get into a law firm that does the exact type of law that you want to do, you still need to do it, because just having a broad overview of all the different types is extremely beneficial.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Sarah.
Thank you.